hope you guys like these tag videos because, well, I'm doing another one. Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and yes, welcome to another tag video. Yes, this tag is called My Life in Movies tag. Yes, I've done so many tags in the past, and people seem to enjoy them, and I like seeing responses and seeing other YouTubers do this kind of tag, so I thought I'd do another movies tag. This tag is called My Life in Movies, and I was trying to look for a good tag out there, a tag I haven't done, and a tag that doesn't have like the same questions I've answered a bajillion times. And this tag has a few repeats, but I think this is a pretty cool and pretty enjoyable tag. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this tag. This tag has 14 questions, so there's some pretty good stuff in here, and yeah, let's get to it. And for this tag, I'm going to tag other people, and I'm going to tag 3 people, and I'm going to tag the 3 people I usually tag, and that is Ryan O'Toole, Super Mario Fan 03, and stuff you see at the cinema. Yes, I'm looking forward to some responses for you guys. Alright, let's get to it. Here's My Life in Movies tag. Alright, got all the questions written down. Question 1 is first steps. Woo, 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 woo. Alright, the first movie you remember seeing as a kid. Well, that's a weird question because technically, like, no one actually knows the first movie they ever watched ever because your parents probably put a movie on when you're like a baby at like 8 months old, so how are you going to remember exactly the first movie you watched? But I'm just going to go with theaters. I went to the theaters the first time when I was 3 years old in 1994, and I saw The Lion King, so I'm going to say The Lion King is like the first movie I remember watching, so I'll go with The Lion King. Alright, number 2, question 2 is teenage crush. What is it? Who is an actor / actress that you had a crush on? I'm guessing throughout my young years, who did I have a crush on? Well, when I was a kid, in my early teens, I had a huge crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because I loved me some Buffy. Such a great show, loved that show, and I always had a huge crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy Summers, but unfortunately, I never had a crush on her when it came to her movies, so maybe that doesn't quite count. That's more of like a TV thing, so I'll say her, but also I'll say Rachel McAdams because of Mean Girls. When Mean Girls came out when I was like about 12 years old and I saw that movie, I had a big crush on Regina George, and yeah, she was a bitch, but I had a huge crush on her and Rachel McAdams, so I'm gonna go with those ones. Alright, question 3 is bad choices, good outcome. Bad choices, good outcome. A movie you watched and ended up enjoying, even though you wanted to hate it. Interesting question. I'm actually going to go with a pretty recent one from last year, is Lights Out. I remember seeing the trailers for Lights Out, and it just looked like the most generic, stupid horror film. I never heard of David F. Sandberg, who directed that film. I never really heard of that filmmaker. So I didn't know how talented he really was and stuff, but it didn't look like a good movie. It looked like a ripoff of other horror films, and just, it didn't look good or even scary. And Teresa Palmer also did a movie like The Choice just a few months ago before that movie came out, so I wasn't really excited to see Lights Out, but I saw it, and it was pleasantly surprising, and it was actually genuinely creepy, fresh, and very enjoyable, good, and a very enjoyable horror film, and I really liked it, and I was going in ready to hate it, but it actually ended up being pretty damn good, so yeah, that's one. Alright, question 4, first date. When you went on your first date, what movie did you see? So that's assuming on your first date you actually went to go see a film, but I actually did. My very first date was when I was 10 years old, and I did go to see a movie with my first date, and I'm not going to say her name because I'm still friends with her and she watches my YouTube videos, so I don't think she wants me to say her name, but yeah, my first date, I was 10 years old, and we went to go see a movie. We went to see the movie The One with Jet Li. Jet Li and Jet Li. Jet Li plays a bunch of characters. My name's Hula, and nobody's bitch. You are mine. Such a very silly, cheesy movie with Jason Statham in the movie as well, and I loved the movie when I was a kid. When I saw this movie when I was 10 years old, I thought it was so good. She did not. She thought it was a really stupid movie, but I freaking loved it as a kid. I know now it's a pretty dumb movie, but I really enjoyed it watching that. And yeah, I went on my first dates seeing that movie. We also like played some pool, did some arcade and stuff, but that was my very first date when I was 10 years old, and I saw The One. Wow, yeah. It's a bad movie, but yeah, still. Good memories, good memories. Alright, question 5 is home comforts. What movie reminds you of spending time with your family? A movie that reminds you of spending time with your family. Very good question. I'm going to go with the movie Princess Bride. The Princess Bride is a movie I always watched with my family, so anytime I watch Princess Bride, it feels like I'm watching it with my family and stuff. And Princess Bride was always a movie we all could agree on because a lot of members of my family have different taste in film. Like my sister is more of the nerdy taste and she loves like science fiction, superhero films, fantasy films. She loves Disney. My brother's more like me, he loves everything, but my dad loved action movies and horror films. My mom was a typical girl who liked romantic films and comedies and stuff, so everyone had different genre tastes, but everyone could agree on The Princess Bride, and we always watched it as a family. So yeah, Princess Bride. Alright, question 6 is first heartbreak. What movie really made you upset more than you thought it would? Very good question. A movie that made me upset or really hit me more than I thought it would. I'm going to go with last year's Manchester by the Sea. When I saw the previews for that movie, it's a Kenneth Lonergan movie, so a lot of his movies really leave an emotional impact on me. Like You Can Count on Me and Margaret were really emotionally hard-hitting films, but Manchester by the Sea, I was really excited to see it because I love Kenneth Lonergan's work and I love Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams. But the movie really dug at me and it really tore the heartstrings, and I was almost bawling by the end of the movie, especially the scene with Michelle Williams and Casey Affleck. It just it just rips your heart out, that scene. It's very sad, very emotional, and I never thought I would be that emotional watching the film because, I'm like a rock through a lot of emotional films and really sad, sappy films, but that one, it really got me, and yeah, very sad film. Alright, question 7 is Leaving Home. What movie was the first you watched without your family? What? The first movie you watched without your family? That's another really weird and kind of stupid question. Who actually does know the first movie they watched without their family? Again, you could have been 2 years old and popped in a VHS tape and just randomly watched it. I have no memory of memory of my childhood when I was 2 years old watching movies, but a movie I always remembering, but a movie I do remember watching a lot by myself when I was a kid, and this is probably the movie I guess I first watched alone. That was the first Toy Story. I always watched Toy Story. I had the VHS of it. I had the first 2 on VHS. I just constantly had them on rewatch, and when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I always put Toy Story on. Everyone loved Toy Story. I watched it so many times, and yeah, I always watched it by myself. I just came home from school and just popped in the VHS and watched some Toy Story, so I'm going to go with Toy Story for that one. Okay, question 8. Question 8. Coming in stupid paper. Good Times. What movie do you watch the most and why? The movie I've watched the most times and why. I'm gonna go with Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Empire Strikes Back. It's weird because those are the kind of movies that you like to binge watch with the whole series. But those movies I've constantly watched on repeat because they're just so fun, and they are a part of a franchise, but they're the best of the franchise. And they're the most impactful and most important stories in those franchises. And yeah, Raiders is just a fun movie. That's why I always watch it on repeat, because it's just so fun. It has everything. It has romance, has action, has adventure, has fantasy elements, has comedy, it has some scary imagery. It has everything that you want in a film. So that's why I always watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. And Empire Strikes Back is because I'm a Star Wars fan. I've always been a Star Wars fan almost my entire life. And Empire is a perfect Star Wars movie. It's not a perfect movie, but it is a perfect Star Wars movie. And that's why I always watch it on repeat, because that's just brilliant storytelling. What Empire did, how dark it is, how gritty it is, what all these characters go through, and its visuals and its action, and just everything about it, the twist ending, everything about Empire is what makes Star Wars so brilliant and so timeless, and that's why I love watching Empire so much. I love a lot of the Star Wars films, but Empire just hits me a certain way. Same with Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that's why I always have them on repeat, and they're probably the two movies I've watched the most throughout my entire life. I've seen each of them at least like 60-something times. They're just such amazing films, and just, yeah, constant repeat for those ones. Question number 9. Question 9. Learn a new language. What is your favorite non-English language movie? Yes. So, favorite foreign film. I've had this a bunch of times. Every time I get this question, I always say Pan's Labyrinth, because that is my favorite foreign language film. But I'm not going to say it this time because everyone knows Pan's Labyrinth is my favorite, so I just want to name a few other ones. I love Akira Kurosawa. Akira Kurosawa is so great, and I love Seven Samurai, Rashomon, Ran, Hidden Fortress, what's that one? His last one, I forget. I'll put the title up there. That's a great film as well, and yeah, Akira Kurosawa makes a lot of great movies. I also love Train to Busan. Train to Busan is such a great film. It's a great zombie film. And yeah, that's a great one. Crucible, not the Daniel Day-Lewis one, but the other one starring the guy from Train to Busan. Crucible, really good movie. Battle Royale is a really good movie as well. The Orphanage is another great film. Those are foreign language films I really, really enjoy, and they're great ones. If you've never heard of any of those movies, you love foreign language films, check them out. They're good. Okay, next. Question number 10. Alright, question number 10. Can't leave the sofa. What series on TV got you hooked? Another really bizarre question. What TV series got me hooked? Almost every TV series that I enjoy got me hooked. Every show that I love got me hooked. So that's kind of a weird question. Lately, like Stranger Things and The Crown and Black Mirror, those got me hooked. But I'll just go with my favorites. Game of Thrones, Firefly. As soon as I watched the first episode of Game of Thrones and Firefly, I was instantly hooked and became like a diehard fan for those shows, so I'll go with those. Alright, question 12. Look into the future. What movies are you looking forward to in the future? Star Wars The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi looks amazing. Han Solo movie. Episode 9. I'm curious to see how they end this new trilogy, but also just this year alone, I'm looking forward to the Meyerowitz family, is that what it's called? The Meyerowitz family? The Noah Baumbach movie, that looks really good. It looks pretty enjoyable. That looks pretty good. The new Jessica Chastain movie looks really good. I forget what it's called. It's like Holly's Game or something. It's with her and Idris Elba. That looks really good. So it's written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie. That looks really good. Yeah, there's a few movies I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I don't know what movie is going to end up being good. Movies catch me off guard. I never thought Arrival would be my favorite movie of last year, so I just got to go see the movie and just hope it's good, hope for the best. So yeah, but those ones I'm really looking forward to seeing. Alright, question 13 is, if only, what old movie do you want to see remade? Oh my god, okay, stop it. Hollywood, stop remaking old movies. It's getting annoying now. Remake bad movies, that's fine. Like, if you want to go, like, remake Plan 9 from Outer Space and actually make it a good movie, not a corny piece of crap, but hilarious corny piece of crap that it is, but if you want to do that, that's fine. You want to remake Glenn or Glenda, go right ahead, but stop remaking classics like what you did with Ben-Hur. That is just a monstrosity. It was just stupid. Even if you want to take a good movie, a good classic movie, but you can make it better, then that's fine. Like, what they're doing with Dune, that's smart. Like, Dune's not a good movie. You could probably make that into a good movie, so that's smart to remake that. Even like Logan's Run is a very good movie, but I can see you making it a better movie, more interesting, more clever film. So yeah, I heard they're remaking that. I hope they keep going with that. I can see Logan's Run being a good remake. Also, Jason and the Argonauts, another film that I actually really enjoy. I grew up with that movie, but I can see them expanding on the mythology and the story, because that movie's great. The stop motion's fantastic. It's a really fun movie, but it's very rushed and it's a little short. They could dive into more of these characters, into Jason, into the mythology. You could actually put good CGI in the film. Good CGI, not shitty ones, but you can make it a good and interesting swashbuckling film and stuff, and yeah, those movies I could see being remade. But don't remake like Gone with the Wind or Casablanca or the fucking Godfather. If they seriously do that, I'll be pissed. Like, that's stupid. Stop remaking movies. Remake bad movies or just make original films. God damn it. Alright. Alright. The last question, question 14, is end of the road. This is another weird question. What 3 films do you think you will always enjoy watching? That's another really dumb question because all movies that I love, I'm never gonna not love them anymore. Like, maybe some movies will probably date and some movies won't be as fun as they were as when I first saw them, but maybe some movies I'll actually notice more flaws or anything, but if I love a movie now, I'm probably going to love it for the rest of my life, so that's a very weird question. I'm gonna always love the movies that I love now. But I'll go with movies that I've loved from my childhood, and I still love them now, and I'll love them forever. So I'll go with something like that. And for that, I'm going to go with Princess Bride, because I've always loved Princess Bride my entire life. So yeah, I'll go with Princess Bride, Back to the Future, I always will love, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know what, I'm going to go with a few more. Fuck it, I'm going to go with some more. I'm going to go with the entire Star Wars trilogy, and I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. I'm going to go with all those franchises and all those movies. I'm always going to love those movies. How old I am, I'm always going to be a Lord of the Rings fan, a Star Wars fan, and a Harry Potter fan, and a Back to the Future fan, and a Princess Bride fan. So that's never going to change, and I will always love those films. So yeah, those ones. Alright. Yep, that's it. That's the end of the tag. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my life in movies tag, and for you guys I tagged out there, I'm looking forward to some video responses. And for you guys in the comment section below, please tell me what are your answers for all these questions. I'm looking forward to some answers. I want to see, what movies you'll choose for these questions. There's some weird questions, but there's some pretty good ones too. But yeah, I'm curious to know. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.